Dr. Gururaj Karjagi, a scientist with a philosopher's touch, has touched many lives and continues to be an inspiration to many teachers, parents, and students. His circle of influence is so wide that it is a difficult task to draw a line to spot whether he has touched people through his scientific temperament, teaching rigor, or through his single-minded commitment to integrity and leading a life of difference. Dr. Karjagi hails from Bijapur, a hamlet in northern Karnataka. His early education in a Gurukulam and subsequent college education at Dharwad make him a native of Dharwad too, a cultural center and an academic hub in northern Karnataka. Probably growing up in a family of teachers, watching creative teachers, teaching became second nature to him. Matching wits with luminaries and literary giants such as Dara Bendre, Masti Venkatesh Iyengar, Gnanapita awardees allowed Dr. Karjagi to absorb culture and ethics at a very young age. His decision to become a teacher, thus, comes as no surprise to people who have seen him. The first milestone in his becoming a guru was acquiring a doctorate in chemistry from Karnataka University, Dharwad. His journey in academia started with the teaching position at Vidyavardhaka Sangha, Bangalore, a women's college. He climbed the ladder of responsibility spontaneously and rapidly to the head of college at a very young age of 28 years. A mature head on a young shoulder suits him. The college became the top-ranking college in India and became a center of excellence and innovation. Such was his passion for students that he launched new curricular practices coupled with a definite emphasis on teacher professional development. He was also the founder principal and academic director of Jain International Residential School, Bangalore, founder director of International Academy for Creative Teaching, a unique pre-service teacher training institute. At present, he is a chairman of Academy for Creative Teaching, an in-service teacher training institute in India, dealing with all aspects of teacher training in all facets of establishment and management of a school. Just like his name, he is the very embodiment of a guru. In his very own words, a guru, a teacher, is first and foremost a learner and then a teacher. It is this very humility that has been his hallmark in his pursuit of knowledge, whether of the Vedas, Upanishads, or the creative processes in learning. The time spent at the Gurukulam has made philosophy and spiritual knowledge his forte. The academic grooming at Karnataka University has made him a creative and thinking teacher. He not only touches the intellect, but zooms in straight to the heart with his simple words that touch our emotions. He is considered an authority on Bhagavad Gita, not only in India, but also abroad. His interpretation leaves one mesmerized with its holistic relation to modern living. His genius in creativity and creative teaching has made him an icon and role model for teachers, parents, and students alike. His reflections on Vedas, Upanishads, Kumarvyasa Mahabharata has given him a superstar status in Karnataka and India. It takes simplicity and genius to appeal to all sections of society. Rare is it to see an individual who is a repository of culture who can make the most abstract concept so simple that learning becomes a joy. The manthan to become Dr. Karjagi indeed has been long and arduous. His ability to absorb and integrate Western thought with Eastern philosophy has truly made him global icon, and blessed are we to be learning from his at all stages. His steadfast belief that nothing fruitful in life comes without a struggle gives hope and energy to many. He's a role model, a mentor, and a leading light for many where hope today is an uncommon commodity. This series of talks recorded in America would indeed inspire many.
People feel that some people are creative, and some group of people, I went and asked them, can you give me the name of outstandingly creative people that you have either seen, heard or read about? I have asked in several gatherings like this. The moment I ask, can you tell me the name of a creative person? people start shooting names. Einstein, Mahatma Gandhi, Sir C.V. Raman, Abraham Lincoln, John Kennedy. They keep on telling hundreds of names. I tell them, no, they are wonderful people, but I want somebody closer to you. Then they start saying, my mother. I said, no generalizations. I want names. Still they start shooting names of people in the neighborhood, their teacher, colleague. I said, I'll give a clue to you. I want the name of a person who is eminently creative, whom you see every day. They are more puzzled. Every day. One lady said, I see God. I said, my God, I have not seen God. If you have seen God as a creative person, wonderful. But I want somebody whom I can meet. They said, we don't remember. Then I told them, remember, when you go and stand before the mirror, you see a person there. Who is that? I said, myself. I said, look, the moment I ask who is the most creative person on earth, you start looking around. Don't look at yourself. Are you not the most creative person the world has ever seen? When I ask them, people say, no, I am not so creative. I said, why are you not creative? Believe me, every human being is born creative. Everyone is born creative. Some of us don't realize. Remember, my friends, ever since the human beings came on this earth, till this day, there has never been a person like me in human history. Never. There is no person like me in today's world. And believe me, there would not be a person like me in the rest of the human future. Impossible. Some people say 6 people are identical in the world. Don't believe that. Not possible. Some people say 2 people are identical twins. I understand that. There are identical twins who are so identical to look at. But believe me, they are only look alike, not brain alike. Therefore, both in brain and body, it is impossible that anyone would be like me. You are a unique creation of God. You are a unique creation of God. Nobody like you existed, nobody like you exists, and nobody like you would exist in future. Does it not make you a unique species on earth? God has taken so much pains to make you so special. You are the most creative person. Many times people talk about creativity and say, what is creativity? There are so many definitions of creativity. People say, one is creative when he gets new ideas. Some people say, creativity means something you should create. Let me tell you, my friends, creativity has nothing to do with creation. People feel to be creative, you should create something. But believe me, though the word creation and creativity came from the same root of the word, creativity has nothing to do with creation. You can be creative in walking, you can be creative in talking, you can be creative in writing, you can be creative in singing, dancing, on anything. Or you can be creative in just not doing anything. When I say you can be creative in just not doing anything, people laugh. I really believe that. Once I had the chance of meeting the Prime Minister of our country. When I went into his office, I saw the statue of Buddha in meditative posture on the head of his table. I suddenly asked the Prime Minister, why do you keep the Buddha statue there? Suddenly looked at me and said, why? Anything wrong? I said, nothing wrong, sir. Since I love Buddha so much, I asked this question. You know what he said? Whenever I am depressed, the statue inspires me. The sentence hit me very strong. Watch my words. Buddha died 2500 years ago. But the image of that man sitting in meditative posture, apparently not doing anything, is one of the greatest creative brains the world has ever seen. Apparently not doing anything. Look at the power of this meditative posture of Buddha. It inspires the Prime Minister of a 100 million populated country when he is depressed. 2500 years after he is gone. Look at the creative genius. He is apparently not doing anything, but is very creative. Therefore, you can be creative in anything. You don't have to create anything. You can be creative in sweeping floor. You can be creative in cooking. You can be creative in washing. You can be creative in taking care of children. You can be creative in anything. Normally, people's perceptions are creativity is confined to fine arts. If you are a good dancer, you are creative. You are a good artist, you are a creative. Nothing of this kind. You can be creative in anything. Actually, creativity is not creating. It is the quality that you bring into the work. If you bring that quality into the work, you are a very creative person. I have seen many people doing very simple things, but with that finesse, that grace, it looks so creative. I went to a friend's house. His father was using a big lens and writing something. I thought his eyesight is bad. When I went closer and asked the father, "What are you doing?" He said, "I am engraving on a grain of rice." I saw him writing one complete shloka of Bhagavad Gita on a grain of rice. On a grain of rice. I could not make out at all. Even when we gave the rice, I could not see it. When you keep a big magnifying lens before that, you can clearly see the entire shloka of Bhagavad Gita on one grain of rice. Tell me, is it not creative? Tremendously creative. I have seen people, I have got a lady in our village who makes 72 strands of semia in just about 4 seconds. Is it not amazingly brilliant? To be creative, you don't have to build a Taj Mahal only. You can be creative in doing this wonderful 72 strands of semia in just about 4 seconds. Amazing. You can be creative in anything provided you bring quality into it. That is why people say, be a cobbler, but be the best cobbler, the world respects you. Be quality oriented. And creativity is also defined as the way of looking at things. When everybody is looking at one side, you look at a different side. Your perceptions are totally different. Look at it. If you are very creative and very curious, you can create something wonderful from nothing. You are obsessed about it. The way you think is different. There was one person in England, his name was Elias Howe. Elias Howe. He was a tailor. And when he was doing the tailoring work, he would get hurt. Every time he used the sewing needle to make a cloth, his finger would get hurt. He thought, I should make a sewing machine. He had no idea how to make it. He was obsessed about making a sewing machine. When you are obsessed about these things, even in dream you worry about it. One day Elias Howe in a dream suddenly saw the Red Indians coming there with all horrible colors on their face and shrieking and shouting. They came there and the leader of the Red Indians came, looked at Elias Howe and told his people, "This fellow cannot make a sewing machine, kill him." It all happened in his dream. The leader told him, "Pull this fellow and kill him because he can't make a sewing machine." And the fellows, all of them dragged him on the street, and one of the Red Indians took his spear, a long spear in his hand, and he wanted to push this spear into the heart of Elias Howe. Elias Howe was shouting and screaming, "Save me, save me. I'll do something about sewing machine." But he saw the spear coming closer to his heart. When the sharp end of this spear came close to the heart, suddenly he saw there was a hole in the head of the spear resembling human eye. There was a hole there in the head. Suddenly he woke up his wife also and told her, "I got the idea to make a sewing needle." "How did you get the idea?" She said, "Look, all these years we have been using a sewing needle with the eye on the back side and the sharp end on the other side. I was not able to make a machine because I didn't know how to push the thread into the cloth. Now when I saw that dream, I realized that I can change the whole thing. Instead of, why should we have the eye of the needle only on the back side? Can I not have it in the front? Along with the sharp end, I can have the eye. Then the thread can go inside and come out. I can make the interlocking." And that's how the sewing machine was made. Tell me, my friends, when everybody was thinking of a sewing needle with the eye on the back side, this man, whole thing turned upside down and could make sewing machines. Every time you use sewing machine, remember Elias Howe. That is the idea of creativity. Look at things from a different point. I have a different perception of creativity. Creativity is all about the number of options you have for a given situation. If you don't go with options, you can't be successful in life. For every activity in life, plan 3 or 4 options. Then you'll be very successful. I'll share an incident, very powerful incident. I was working with school children. I was the principal of a school. We had a Ganesha festival. When they're taking Ganesha for the immersion, a big procession was going on. At that time, children had put color on each of their faces. They looked like so different. At that time, another teacher came in the opposite direction in clean clothes. You know what happens when you have applied color and you find another person with a clean dress, you're tempted to put color on him. All the boys and the girls ran to the teacher to put color on him. That man froze and said, please, please, don't put color on me. I didn't know that you are playing color. I got some other function. Please don't put color. Children did not put color. They said, sir, we wanted to put color on you. You're not allowing us to do it. They feel bad. One little fellow in the group suddenly shook his hand, removed the color from his hand and ran backwards. I was wondering, something is in his mind. In a few minutes he was back with little hands full of little flowers. So many flowers in little hands. He came there. He told the teacher, please bend down, sir. He said, why? Please bend down. The teacher bent down and this little fellow put all the flowers on his head, clapped and said, sir, I have put a color that does not stick. Tell me honestly, my friends, as adults we had only 2 options. To put the color in spite of his request or not to put color because of his request. This little child had the 3rd option of putting a color that does not stick. When you find a new option, you become more creative. This is the charm of having multiple options. Larger the options you have, greater the creativity that you demonstrate. But one question comes here. All of us say we are creative. One elderly statesman used to say that in each of our houses there is a big cupboard. There's 100 crore rupees currency in that. The cupboard is locked and the key is in your pocket. But you go on asking everybody, can you give me 10 rupees? Can you give me 10 rupees? People say, why are you asking 10 rupees? In your cupboard you got 100 crore rupees, take it. But he says, I don't know where the keys are. Keys are in your pocket only. And this statesman told, most of us are like that. We are all born with immense creativity. But most of us do not even realize the key is in our pocket only. If you can search, create options for your life, you can be eminently creative. Then what are the constraints for creativity? Why don't we demonstrate creativity in everyday life? What are the barriers that we have? The biggest threats for creativity are, first one is comparison. Comparison is the greatest curse to creativity. As parents and teachers, we tend to compare one child with another child. We tell the child, you and the neighboring child, both of you went to the same school, same tuition class, he got 95, you got 59. You are not creative. Look at that girl, she dances so well. You went to the dance school, you can't dance so well. You are not creative.